Welcome back, you sadistic sinners of the world. The Fanworks has returned once again, as promised, and this time we've got an interesting video for you all. Now, I'm sure many of you know, 2 games released rather recently that had been the topic of hot discussion for many a fan of the series. In response to the begging, pleading, and sacrificial offerings of the fans, we were blessed with Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the remakes of the Sinnoh region that had been keeping us holding our breath for years. And decreeing that one of our writers had gone off the deep end for his decision to make his first playthrough of the game a challenge mode, our work slowly began to mix with our interests. And then, one of us had an epiphany. You read the title, right, folks? Today, we here at the Fanworks have brought you a special crossover episode. Today, we're taking a look at what would happen if both the Helluva boss and Hazbin Hotel gangs had a run-in with those most popular of pocket monsters. From their types to their titles, to the reasoning of their teams, this was a heavy debate here at the Fanworks, and we're proud to present to you the Trainers of Hell. Now, to begin, let's take our swing to our good friends down at I.M.P. to see what the teams of Hell's lower-tier citizens would wield in their battles. Now, of course, Blitz would be the first up. After some debate, it was determined that he would be, of all things, a ground-type trainer, simply because of how many of them fit his likes. His team would no doubt be Quagsire, given its uncanny resemblance to the kitty cat sock puppet he likes so much in Episode 4. Crocodile, given its uncanny resemblance to him, with its long head, dark red skin, and horn-like protrusions on top of its head. Palisand, with its ability to appear charming and innocent before ensnaring you and sucking out your soul, which Blitz is known for in multiple ways, depending on who you ask. Stunfisk, given Blitzo's other tendency to assume a completely derpish demeanor in his downtime. Dugtrio, almost as I.M.P's mascot, 3 equally dangerous creatures coming together to form a far more dangerous team. And finally, of course, Mudsdale as his team's ace, with his total obsession with horses. He would probably ride it in a battle, to be frank. Following him in battle, but being entirely disinterested in the entire procedure until it was time to fight, is Luna, of course. Now I'm just imagining Luna with a Pikachu ears and Pikachu tail going, Luna, Luna, Luna. There was no doubt in anybody's minds that she would be a Dark-type trainer with a team that fits her well enough to make it obvious. Houndoom, because as a dark fire type with horns, a pointed tail, and the skull-like piece in its chest, it is literally a hellhound, all but in name. Mightyena, as a slightly less hellish-looking matchup with Houndoom, appearing more as an actual dog of war. Weavile, almost as a counter to her standoffish personality with its own smug, I guess I was right about you, attitude that would drive her to care about them all if for nothing else but spite. Obstagoon, for its always ready-to-party, rocking persona, which fits Luna and her new time partying with Vortex and the other Hellhounds. Pangoro, because Luna would eventually become sick of this bullshit and forego any pretenses of stealth. She's a direct fighter, she doesn't strike from the shadows, and Pangoro definitely embodies that. And finally, Zoroark, the ace of her own team, just for being, essentially, a Luna Pokémon, with its razor-sharp claws, long mane of hair, incredible speed, and most importantly, its shape-shifting abilities that allow it to disguise itself among other Pokémon. Millie and Moxie would be your typical double battle trainers, seeing as they're almost never very far away from each other and are more willing to support one another in combat and in life. They wouldn't be regulated to any kind of type, instead using Pokémon that are known for being pairs. Their teams would consist of Honchkrow, wielded by Millie, while Miss Magius is sent out by Moxie. 2 Pokémon that gain their Sinnoh evolutions together, one exclusive to each game. Miss Magius, the ranged attacker, giving Moxie an embodiment of the dangerous and beautiful imp he married, while Honchkrow gives Millie a physical attacker and the physical form of the regal but lovable demon she married a year ago. Plusle from Millie and Minun from Moxie, of course, because Millie is always the one to see the positive in the situation and become excited, while Moxie is always the one to see the negatives, the potential dangers, and together they keep each other in balance to wreck their opponents. And finally, Nidoqueen and Nidoking, Millie and Moxie's aces respectively, They're king and queen, feeling like a dream when their victims start to scream. Now, stepping outside of the I.M.P headquarters, we take a peek at Team Screw Blitz, whose sole goal is the opposite of Team Yell, to find this one imp and make his life a living hell in hell. First up, we have Stolas, who seriously misunderstood the team's title and core message, and is actually one of the good guys. He's a flying type trainer, of course, and his team consists of Noctowl, of course, given that he is an owl demon, and what is an owl demon without an owl Pokémon? Xatu, given its psychic abilities and Stolas' ability to see the stars, the planets, and the worlds that demons teach. Staraptor, a Pokémon that demonstrates its hidden reverses, because even though he is sweet and goofy, he is far more powerful than people give him credit for. Altaria, because even though he's a prince of demons, he is still a sweet and soft guy deep down. Gliscor, because he thought Gligar looked like Blitz and didn't realize it had an evolution. But it's still technically a flying type, so he's keeping it. And finally, Corviknight, his team ace. He is a prince, after all, and royalty needs knights to defend them. That and it embodies his darker side that unleashed when he's pushed, resembling the demon side of him that dorks experienced firsthand. The Cherub Gang, seeking revenge for their banishment at Blitz's hand. They would act as a gauntlet of sorts. 3 trainers fought in a row, with 2 Pokemon each. Sylveon and Comfey, used by Colin because they both show his genuine love and affection towards everything alive, as opposed to his compatriots who do it out of obligation. Sylveon is just adorable enough for Colin to fall in love with and bears his similar bow tie fashion sense. And Comfey is a living lei, which when bearing the right colors can be used to symbolize love. Dubwool and Blissey, courtesy of Keene, who is seriously protective of Colin and radiates big sister energy at all times. She's also a sheep, so Dubwool would seem like an obvious pick, but she is also the caretaker of sorts, like Blissey. She's also the toughest of the gang, thus bearing the 2 tankier Pokemon. Finally, Cletus brings Wigglytuff and Togekiss to the gang, both Pokemon almost resembling his physical appearance, and both holding love and compassion close to their hearts, smiling even in battle. Fizzarali, the Clown Prince of Lawsuits, is obviously one of the founders of Team Screw Blitz, given their history together, and after heavy debate was decided to be a Psychic-type trainer, with his team of Jinx, because of its goofy, almost clownish appearance, and because he would no doubt make more than one blow-up doll joke out of it. Executor, but specifically the Alola version, because of its dumb smiles, the 3 faces that could correspond with the 3 theater masks on RoboFizz's outfit, and the fact that Fizzarelli has a tendency to stretch his body. And, come on, nobody does the stretch better than Alolan and Executor, and no one plays the trumpet better than Fizzarelli himself. Swoobat, with his heart theme, curved ears like his horns, and his twisted up tail. He would no doubt use this guy to stamp all of the hearts into his outfits. Reuniclus, because though it doesn't do the stretch like Executor, its entire evolutionary line has been the path of this Pokemon growing its massive, disproportionate arms that can stretch like goop it fights. Bruxish, no doubt the same reasons as Jinx, given its bright and goofy appearance, its long face, and its puffed out cartoonish lips, combined with razor teeth like Fizz's own that can puncture through the toughest Pokemon. And of course, you knew this was coming. The obvious Mr. Mime. The ace. What's a clown to do without his clown? A jester without his jester. He refuses to get a Galar version because he doesn't want a Mr. Rhyme. It loses the clownish appearance, and that's his entire brand. Everybody's true sexual awakening from our favorite show, Striker is another admin of Team Screw Blitz. He wanted to be a ground-type trainer, but Blitz called dibs and stole that from him. So he took up steel types instead. His team is all sleek, all shine, all danger, consisting of Skarmory, its speed undeniable and perfectly complementing his own smooth, sleek appearance and dangerous claws. Excadrill, just out of spite for the fact that he couldn't get the ground types and the fact that it has vicious claws and would make an excellent getaway Pokemon. Lucario, the calm, aura-driven fighter that matches Striker's sharp, opportunistic fighting style, quick, forceful jabs, and fluid dodges that any martial artist would be proud of. Bisharp, for its cool, unwavering demeanor and willingness to strike from the shadows, something Striker excels at and built his whole career around. Steelix, for if Striker is finally caught and must engage on a full-on battle, it matches his serpentine aesthetic but surpasses most houses in size, making this the steamrolling tank of his team. And finally, Scizor, one of my favorites, the ace of his sleeve. Fast, strong, proficient in both melee and ranged attacks, Scizor embodies Striker to a T, or an R in this case, and commands a respect few others do. And finally, from the top of Team Screw Blitz, we have the boss, the founder, the one who said screw Blitz for both reasons. It's Verosica Mayday. And her team of bug-type Pokémon, here to dazzle the competition and catch every spotlight. Hers is a team of beauty and passion, but also of danger and violence. Her team consists of Beautifly, for its gorgeous appearance and the dazzling sparkles it leaves in its wake when it flies, giving her shows the magical appearance that they need to succeed. Cricketune, for its signature musical ability. Oh, the urge to go dee-lee-dee-whoop is strong with this one. Putting on a show for every one of her fans with its guitar-shaped body and providing the music for her to sing along to. Vespiquen, for the obvious reason of her being the queen of her hive, and other succubi seeming to bow before her. And with good reason, she isn't exactly weak. Orbeetle, her performance enhancer, able to use its psychic abilities to work in tandem with her demonic hypnotism and worm its way into her fans' heads, ensuring everybody loves the one and only Mayday. Golisopod, her bodyguard, the symbol of strength and power to keep any overzealous fans in the crowd and off the stage with its overwhelming strength and power. And finally, Frostmoth, the ace and vision of everything that Verosica is. A beautiful appearance, hypnotizing grace and binding gaze, and its raw strength that ensures she is not to be messed with. The final Pokemon in her team, it commands the show like its trainer. Everybody knows it, everybody loves it, and those who don't get a taste of something far worse than their performance. Oh, but you thought we were done with the 4 I.M.P employees and their enemies? No, we still have a hell of a lot of characters to go. Next, we've got the notorious Team Hazbin, seeking to circumvent the league champion Lucifer's decree and reduce the population of Hell through redemption. As you fight your way through their ranks, you will encounter Husker, with his stony expression, closed-off heart, and general apathy towards everything, quickly became a quiet fan and master of rock-type Pokémon. He has no time for sitting around and strategizing. He steamrolls everything and anything in his way, with his winning team consisting of Golem, because Husk thought an On the Rock show could be utterly hilarious at the time. Dreadnought, because its access to an incredible amount of water guns could help him with his hangovers in the morning. That, and the shell proves a wonderful projectile to hurl at thugs, guests who aren't following their routines, or Angel for any given reason. Sudowoodo, because even though he hated to admit it, he needed some added greenery to the bar, or he'd go completely insane. Shuckle, for its ability to take random fruits in its shell, where Husk can shake them up and then pour out juices that, based on how humans react to them, are definitely alcoholic, making his bartending job much easier, that's for damn sure. Relicanth, for its stoic, unwavering gaze and elderly appearance that gives it a sense of having existed long before you were born, which Husker understands too well. And finally, Gigalith, the ace, chosen for its true stonewall defense and fury-filled eyes that make it a wonderful bouncer when Husk feels too drunk, too hungover, or too sober to deal with whomever's yelling at him at that particular time, be it a customer or Vaggie. Nifty, the other grunt of the team, who specializes in normal-type Pokémon. She'll jump on you like a rabid animal herself, not because you're an enemy, but because you stepped on that freshly cleaned rug with your muddy shoes and need to be taught a lesson. But if you keep yourself clean enough to pass by her without a violent reaction from the tiny cleaner demon, she'll instead attack you with her team of helpers. Furret, which she uses for hard-to-reach places, strapping brushes to it and sending it into vents and other spots that she can't reach. A tactic once used by scientists to clean a particle accelerator with a real-life ferret. Ambipom for those higher up locations and for boosts. She uses its 2 tails to both have it scale to places to retrieve something or bring her up somewhere so she can dust a shelf. Others have asked why she doesn't just teach it to dust by itself, but she's seen the damage that can be done just by one sinner. She doesn't need that in her clean space. Stoutland for extermination work. Stoutlands are notorious for their insanely useful senses of smell, so she mounts up on hers and sends it to sniff out any mice, insects, or other vermin that have snuck into the building, where she's free to exterminate them. Cast form to use as an early warning system. She sends it outside for a moment and sees what it looks like when it comes back in, as she plans her cleaning accordingly. If it turns into its raindrop form, for example, she knows that mud is bound to be trekked through the lobby, so she will remain vigilant to make sure none of it gets trekked farther than the door. And then, her ace, Drampa. This one doesn't help her, it simply provides her with company and familiar headspace. You see, Drampa, like Nifty, has an interesting quality. If you bully one of its friends, it will follow you to your house and burn it to the ground, presumably with you inside. Something Nifty can probably connect with on some level. Another 2 Pokemon Nifty would have would be Mincino and Cincino, 2 Pokemon known for being neat freaks and wanting things clean and tidy. Beware all you Trubbish fans! Next, you'll encounter the first admin, Angel Dust, a sinner with a little more attachment to Team Hazbin than Husker and Nifty, if barely. Given the number of drugs almost always pumping through his veins, Angel wields poison types, and he uses them to a deadly efficiency. And you'd better believe he's got a sexual innuendo for every single one, including Victory Bell. He'd make more sticking his dick in it jokes than you could count in your lifetime. But he wouldn't actually do it. It's not clear whether its mouth has a jaw, or how strong it would be if it did, and he likes his junk where it is. Tentacruel for the obvious hentai jokes, and because it helps him go swimming when he doesn't want to get his hair all wet in the pool or at the beach. Roserade. Angel would say he keeps this one because it's got them mommy hips. But we here at the Fanworks like to think it's because, deep down, amidst all of his flaws and walls, he still has a love for the beautiful things in this world. Salazzle, on the other hand, has those hips that do not lie to you, and those curves make you want it too. And it constantly makes bedroom eyes at everything, which certainly fits Angel Dust's entire sexual persona. To hell, I'm not even sure if that's a Pokemon. That could be just one of his coworkers. Can someone call Valentino and let us know, please? Thanks. Toxapex, serving as the opposite to Salazzle. Rather than be a symbol of his sexual outside, Toxapex is a symbol of who he is inside. Toxapex is known for being a timid Pokemon, though all of those barbs on the outside of its body are so venomous that they could take a whale out of commission for a few days. So, a sharp and toxic outside hide a timid and lonely inside. Sound familiar? And then, of course, Ariados, obviously, his ace, because the spider demon needs a spider Pokemon on his team, doesn't he? They even have the same number of arms. Ariados just uses them as legs. And then, fighting your way up the Team Hazbin chain of command, you'll encounter the second admin, Vaggie. Devoted entirely to the cause of Team Hazbin, Vaggie is willing to throw everything that she has to stop you from interfering, and with her team of fighting types, her everything is quite a damn lot, starting with Primeape. The master of rage, Primeape, is legendarily known to fly off the handle when provoked. And though Vaggie is known to have a little more control over her temper, her visible rage at being insulted brings to mind the incident where a Primeape can become so angry that it dies. Hitmonchan. Vaggie doesn't fight often, but in the instance that we see, she's prone to using her fists over her legs, putting her in a spot with Hitmonchan over Hitmonlee. And the boxing gloves say it all. This Pokemon packs as much punch as its trainer when she punched out that cameraman. Thanks, Vaggie. Hawlucha, because, well, in a never unsee it moment, one of the crew mentioned that Hawlucha actually resembles Vaggie slightly. Perhaps it's the way her hair parts at its ends that resembles its cape. Or perhaps it's simply a case of conformity bias. But the team agreed they couldn't unsee this once they saw it. Phalanx, the team of little Pokemon making up a bigger unit. Isn't that what Vaggie is all about? Helping coordinate the other demons to help them on their path towards redemption? Surfetched, because if there's one thing Vaggie wants more than to coordinate these demons, it's to protect the hotel from any demons who seek to undo their hopes. It wields a sword, close to Vaggie's spear, and it holds a shield. And while Vaggie is a bit more metaphorical, she no less has the same desire to guard her friends like the vigilant knight she is. Gallade, the ace, and the one at the source of love. Given to her as a gift from her girlfriend to match her Gardevoir, Vaggie has cherished this Pokémon more than most things in her life, and it fights with that love behind every strike. Finally, you reach the command center and find the supposed leader of Team Hazbin, Alistair, the radio demon. He claims to be doing the entire redemption idea for the sake of his own entertainment. But, nevertheless, he cannot have you stopping him. The show must go on after all. And with his ghost-type team, he's not about to let an up-and-comer put a stop to the fun so soon. Spiritomb comes first, a collection of souls. Spiritomb would undeniably be the embodiment of all the souls Alistair has made deals with over the years. It constantly whispers within itself, countless voices begging for release. But they made the deals, and Alistair aims to collect. Cofagrigus, the living sarcophagus. Just like its trainer, Cofagrigus molds shadows from its body to act as limbs, snatching and grabbing whoever wanders within its reach. Anyone caught is turned into a mummy, drained of their essence once shut inside. An obvious matchup. Dusknoir was not to be left out, of course. The de facto Lord of Ghost Pokémon that spread in popularity to use as a villain in side games like Mystery Dungeon and Ranger. Its great smiling mouth cracks in a grin as similar as Alistair's and is about as pleasant to see given the vortex it can summon within to consume you. Chandelure is a far quieter horror. The fires it uses to stay alive are fueled by souls. As it grows, it sits in hospitals and homes, awaiting the passing of others to collect their souls and use them for fuel. Once consumed, the husks are cast aside to wander the world forever. Perfectly silent, never noticed until it's too late. A quiet hunter. Like its trainer. Drifblim, the passive hunter. Aside from being a hot air balloon, something Alistair would no doubt have grown up with, Drifblim is known for simply taking people, passively grabbing them with its arms as it drifts around. Nobody knows where they go, but they do know they're never heard from again. Death by handshake. Where have I heard that before? And finally, his ace, his most conniving Pokémon, Shedinja. This fight will bring Alistair the one thing he desires more than carnage and souls: entertainment. A silent, floating husk of a bug with just 1 HP. Not worthy of being an ace, right? Well, Shedinja has one trick up its sleeve. It can only be hit by super effective attacks. And being both a bug and ghost type, its list of weaknesses is down to just 5. Ghost, fire, dark, flying, and rock. This is the show Alistair wanted. If you don't have moves of those types, you can't touch this thing. And he can watch and delight as it picks you apart piece by piece. Its 1 HP may as well be 1 million. But even if you do, he can still have a good laugh about his trick. But then, you discover Alistair isn't the leader at all, but another admin of Team Hazbin. Ascending to the roof of the hotel, you find the true leader of Team Hazbin, Charlie Main, Lucifer's own daughter. Alistair may be in it for the entertainment, but Charlie truly believes in her cause of redemption, and she will stand where all others fail. When her own father tells her to move, she will stand her ground, stick out her chin, and tell him, "No, you move." And her team, a fairy-type force of sweet love and adorable romance, isn't about to move either. Mimikyu is the obvious first pick. A Pokémon that just wants to be loved like Pikachu. It just wants to be noticed. To be loved. It's the epitome of Charlie. A cute, lovely exterior that you pity for its predicament, but deep down, still a demon at its core. Mawile falls under the same category. A Pokémon that just wishes to exist, but driving others away with its massive second mouth. Wanting love, but getting fear. How could Charlie turn that away? Rimbombi is the Pokémon she holds for its cute factor. It flutters about, a little fairy that seems to exist to spread smiles. It may as well be the hotel mascot. Granbull, though, is Charlie's tipping point. She's officially been pushed too far. She knows she has to do this to save her own people, and now she's been slighted to the point of violence. and Granbull embodies that perfectly. While a fairy type, it certainly won't be giving hugs anytime soon. Gardevoir was her team's ace until very recently. A powerful psychic fighter, it knows you bested its counterpart, and both it and its trainer aren't about to let the defeat of Vaggie slide so easily. But then we have Charlie's trump card, her brand new ace, Xerneas. The only legendary wielded in Hell, it embodies her true power, how she, despite all the insults, all the fighting, and all of the violence, is still the goddamn Princess of Hell, third most powerful demon of all time, and don't you forget it. And that just about wraps it up for our time today. All you colorful cretins of hell, do you agree with our choices? Did we miss somebody you wanted to see? Make sure to leave us a comment. It really helps us out. Also, make sure to ring that bell like the very best, like no one ever did before, and hit that subscribe button to catch every video like it's your real test, because we post every single day. But with that, I'm with the Fanworks, and I will see you next time.